Hello, Shortcuts. This is video 2 for September 13th, Wednesday. Price list goes out Wednesday, 9 p.m. This is the blues and soul list. I think the first time of a list it's exclusively blues and soul. All right, we're going to start with a blues classic and then we'll move on to a soul classic. This was almost, as soon as it was released, inaugurated into the Blues Hall of Fame. This is Bobby Bland's debut album, Two Steps from the Blues, which was effectively a compilation of music and songs and singles that he released, I think predominantly in the early 60s. What hits you straight away from the opening track, the title track itself, is his voice. Man, it is butter smooth, and it accompanied by a really fine range of musicians. It's like although I've debated whether, to my ears, this is a blues record or a soul record, because it isn't blues strictly in that minor chord progression style. It is something different. But the voice and the songs and the rarity, this is very, very, very hard record to find. Make this the lead off record. Bobby Bland's Two Steps from the Blues. Maybe Syl Johnson is rolling in his grave, because I thought that maybe I was going to have to lead off with this. Syl Johnson's Diamonds in the Rough. Now, Diamond in the Rough even. For those of you who watched my greatest soul records of all time video that I posted recently, you will know that Syl Johnson places pretty high on the list. High records, works with Willie Mitchell, a little bit more earthy and kind of a little bit more grind than Al Green, but I like that about him. This particular pressing, the Japanese, I think this is the Japanese first press, came out on the London label. It's just a stupendously expensive record on Discogs, but not with us. It's also fabulous. 1975, I think. Dirty, sleazy, steamy soul. The best type, really. The wonderful Aretha Franklin and her Stone Cold classic, live at the Fillmore West, backed by Shortcuts royalty, the wonderful King Curtis. You get Bernard Purdie on drums at the back. There you've got Billy Preston, made famous by the Beatles documentary of the work that he did on Let It Be. And right up front, alongside Aretha herself, is Ray Charles. What a record this is. King Curtis, tenor and soprano saxophone solos, and leader of the orchestra. The rhythm section consists of Billy Preston, Cornell Dupree, Jerry Jemmett, Bernard Purdie, Pancho Morales on conga drums, and Truman Thomas on electric piano. All backed by the Memphis Horns. What a record that is. One of the fun things about this record is what she does with the tempo of the songs. She plays Respect at the speed that I would expect the Ramones to play Respect if they had covered it. They pelt her through that song. All right, now I've got a couple of blues classics. One from Howlin' Wolf and one from John Lee Hooker. Both of these compilations of some of their best songs from the 50s and 60s. This one on the Black Label P-Vine. That's the first time I've ever seen a Black Label P-Vine. I think it might be reserved for mono records. What an odd sleeve. Look at that. Very strange. Very beautiful condition. Not far off mint, this record. The wonderful Howlin' Wolf. But I think this record's as good, if not better. This is John Lee Hooker Sings the Blues. Look at those pearls. And, you know, his contemporaries on the back. What do they think? Eddie Davis, never heard of him. Anyway, this is this is a repress from 1983, and super quiet, really, really nice vinyl. 2 killer blues compilations. Now, let's move on to this. A little bit different. This is MFSB. Love is the message. MFSB were the house band of Philadelphia International Records, which was Philadelphia Records were kind of like the soul, not quite competition, but maybe. Well, they competed with Stax and Motown. As I've said in the past, I think there's a few, I might pull them all out here. Philadelphia soul is much more lugubrious and lush than Chicago soul or Memphis soul. And in addition to the rather wonderful MFSB, I've got 360 Degrees of Billy Paul on the original press, and this one, which I haven't, I don't know if I've had this before, but this is, make sure I got the exact title, Got My Head On Straight by Billy Paul, complete with Obi, as you can see on the Obi there, the sound of Philadelphia. That Philadelphia soul was the subject of a compilation by Vinyl Me Please, and I bought the Stax compilation. I recently bought the Cadet compilation. I missed out on the Philadelphia soul compilation, and I really regret it. These anthologies that Vinyl Me Please make of records from that era are pretty wonderful. The 360 Degrees of Billy Paul, of course, features the absolute stone cold classic, Me and Mrs. Jones. Between the three of those, you have an absolutely magnificent starter pack for Philadelphia soul. I've got some more blues, but I'm going to start with this soul record as well. Rufus Thomas's debut album, Walking the Dog, on the original blue and green Atlantic label. Rufus Thomas, Walking the Dog, he kind of had a series of hits in the kind of late 50s into the early 60s with these types of songs that kind of almost were, I'm not going to say jingoistic or kind of throwaway, but they were just pure fun. Dancing, Walking the Dog, Land of a Thousand Dances. Land of a Thousand Dances is an incredible song. Just read the reviews of this record. Thankfully, there were 2 copies in the box. One was going straight onto my shelf. And I really like that waterproof sleeve too. It's a surprisingly great record. And Rufus Thomas was the father of Carla Thomas, who has appeared on a few times on a few shortcuts lists as well. So yeah, some amazing lineage. All right, what do we got left? We have 4 blues records. I'm just going to show you them all one after the other. They're rather fabulous? How blue can you get? A white label promo on the Probe label of some of B.B. King's best late 50s and early 60s songs. For my money, this is the best B.B. King compilation you can get. And this is the best Freddie King compilation you can get. This is the Japanese first press of Freddie King 1934 to 1976. Freddie King almost at the point of being ordained Shortcuts royalty, continuing to find great music from the rather wonderful Freddie King. Love that compilation very, very much. Now we get two of Shortcuts' all-time favorite blues records. We have Magic Sam's Black Magic and Buddy Guy's Hold That Plane on the Vanguard label, and in this case a really fine reprint on the P-Vine label. Magic Sam being an incendiary guitar player with a really powerful voice that kind of distorts the microphone at times, kind of pushes the envelope. Whereas Buddy Guy, it's a little bit more restrained, but also, a legend for a reason. And Hold That Plane is regarded in the upper echelon of Buddy Guy recordings. So there you have it. A blues and soul selection from Philadelphia International Records, from Vanguard Records, from Stax, from London. We got Buddy Guy and Freddie King and B.B. King and John Lee Hooker and Howlin' Wolf and Rufus Thomas and Syl Johnson. Yeah. And right at the top, if you haven't heard Two Steps from the Blues by Bobby Bland, you really could do worse. It's a really special record. Well, Diamond in the Rough by Syl Johnson is right up there too. You cannot go wrong. What a list that is. If anything caught your eye, give me a shout, ping me, I'll give you more information. Price list goes out as normal, 9 p.m. on Wednesday. Thank you and out.